visit some brother out on my call. This is the moment you're meant to know.
Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I am here to do a reading on Kylie Jenner, and Timothee Chalamet. I am actually quite curious. First, it's rumors that they've broken up. Now it's rumors that they're engaged slash getting married. So I'm just curious what's going on with Kylie Jenner and Timothy. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Mama Crone has a few questions, and I have a few questions. So I'm just going to dive right into there, figure out what's going on between them. Is it true? Are they getting engaged? Are they not? According to the internet, that they are not rushing towards marriage anytime soon. Doesn't that story sound familiar on the internet? So because of that, it sounds like they are just, according to the Google the internet, they claim to be moving at a pace that's comfortable for them, even though they are enjoying their relationship and all have been together. But we've honestly heard these um, engagement rumors for a long time. It's quite curious what's going on with Kylie and Timothy. They're so private about their relationship when they were so public in the beginning. So now to suddenly go quiet, it's just like, well, what's going on behind your relationship? Like, are you guys together? Or are you not? And then they sometimes randomly come out together just to like, I don't know, come at the rumors and say that no, we're not broken up, we're still together. But then like it's like, well, is that for just like PR? Like, I don't know what's going on here. So with that, that's exactly why we're going to pull some cards right here to figure out what's going on with the dynamic between Kylie and Timothy. That is what I want to know, and that's what my main reading is going to be about. What is the night dynamics, the inner working between Kylie and Timothy? Are they in harmony? Are they in disharmony? Do they get along? Do they not get along? Does one person secretly dislike the other person? Is the other person using another person? So let's just find out what is going on with Kylie and Timothy. This card will represent exactly that. Well, now the back card, we have the Mother of Pentacles or the Queen of Pentacles. It is a mother deer. You know, this could honestly be Kylie because Kylie does come motherly, and this could be Kylie reigning in the energy. So, you know, just for that, I'll pull an extra card to see what energy could represent Timothy. Since Kylie just wanted to seem to pop right out because I can't place that anybody else because it seems to fit the build for Kylie. And with Timothy here, we see, interestingly enough, an Eight of Swords. Now, is this an Eight of Swords as in he feels as though this relationship is stifling him? Or is it just the fact that he feels as though he needs to like change, or like trying to like maybe use Kylie as like a maturing factor, key factor to like help him grow up? Maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe it seems like he was kind of like seeking some sort of transformation, and he's had that transformation, but he quite hasn't seen that he's had that transformation quite yet. So that's exactly very interesting. So I'm honestly, interestingly enough, I'm going to pick a card that represents a block. What could be a problem in their relationship? Well, the Ace of Pentacles. This is actually quite interesting considering the Mother or the Queen of Pentacles came out. So that's two earthly cards mixed with an air card, which are both actually, I'm not sure how well air and earth get along with each other. We have this would be masculine, feminine, and masculine, feminine. There we go. That's how they get along with each other. They're both masculine and feminine within nature, fire and not fire, but air and earth. So I see right here that when it comes to their relationship, there seems to be a sort of overly receptive energy that seems to be putting a little bit too much into this relationship. And that's exactly what I see with this Ace of Pentacles. Because the Ace of Pentacles is either a beginning or it's all resourceful. And if we are already starting off with the mother here and somebody feeling trapped, well, it seems like the block card here with the ace is that there's too much earth. There's just too much heavy weightedness, whether that's ideals, whether that's family, whether that's time, resources, that just seems to be a burden when it comes to their relationship and what keeps them from moving forward, possibly. So let's see what's at their foundation. Well, out the foundation, we have the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is supposed to symbolize a happy home, a happy picture, a happy relationship, picture perfect relationship at that. And that's exactly what Kylie and Timothee have been trying to give off, and even has been trying to still portray from behind closed doors and behind closed scenes, like where we don't see them as publicly with their PDA. We know from the what they gave us from the past, that rapport that they built with us, we would just have to assume or infer that they're still in that lovey-dovey stage. They just decided to take it away from the cameras because they were getting backlash. And since then, there's been rumors on his family doesn't approve of this marriage. Kylie's trying to do this. Kylie trying to do that. Timothee actually wants Kylie and wants to marry Kylie and is desperately in love with Kylie. So, there's just so many things. Then they started talking about their sex life and then what goes on in the bedroom and how they get freaky in the sheets. I mean, there's just been so many things that people have talked about and speculated about Kylie and Timothee since they've stopped giving PDA. Because it's just too blank for fans now, that they have to try to fill in the puzzle pieces and the blank spaces that they don't have, and try to figure out, well, what is keeping Kylie and Timothee from displaying their love if they're such a picture perfect, lovey-dovey couple? If they're so in love with each other, want to get engaged, have this amazing sex life, well, why aren't they getting married? Like, why is he putting a ring on it? So there's all those questions, like what is still keeping them and preventing them? I can't even make this up. Here in the past, we have the Mother of Wands, another creature of transformation because it is a snake, but this is a mother that is a bit more defensive. And then honestly, I'm just going to have to say it. I still see it as Kylie, somebody who defends her family, who defends her legacy. Maybe she isn't trying to totally get married with Timothee, and maybe not even trying to have his child, but the more the fact that she's so focused, even though she loves being a mother, she's so in mommy mode and focused in on her children and being present for her children. She has had a whole change in idealized. She still wants the picture perfect family and marriage. Don't forget, she wants to have the family and the husband and the business and everything else. She wants it all. So she hasn't quite got it all yet, but she's not ready to, the best way I could put it, endanger her family or put her children at risk by just trying to rush into something just because it fills her need. So therefore, that could be a sense of why she hasn't, or why they haven't fully gotten engaged, but they're just moving at a slower pace. And that could be another reason why she went behind closed doors, because maybe she started thinking about what her kids are going to think about when they get older, and you're going to hear all these things that people were saying about your mom, and it's just like, I don't want that image for my kids. You could be thinking about that. I mean, we know Kylie has some anxiety and she has some body issues, but she's working on that self-esteem and security. So all that she's probably still working on. Kids is not going to fix that. And because of that, that could be something that maybe Timothee is helping her with. And she doesn't want to get head over heels or jump too quickly ahead of something without thinking of it without thinking it through fully, even though it has bring some sort of change within her, or as though she feels as though she has changed as a person just being with Timothy. So what is crowning them and what is above their head? What are they having conversations about? Oh, how fitting. I was just talking about the way Kylie feels about how the world judges her. The world card comes out. So funny how I was just talking about, and the world is another earth card, and here goes the Ace of Pentacles, something that is blocking the relationship from moving forward. Not just Kylie, but could be also how Timothy feels about how both of them, how they both feel that their image is being portrayed in the media. They know that being together is a bit, I don't want to say risque, but a bit risky. He's an up and coming an actor. He's an up and coming actor. He's starring in all these commercials, these ads, movies, TV series. So because of that, why get yourself attached to somebody like Kylie Jenner, who has like a spotted past? Then you know how they were saying his whole family was feeling about, why are you going to marry somebody that isn't equally yoked with you? If she has a child and you don't, why would you want to marry someone like that? Kind of like get into those, as some people might want to say, those old-timey ideas. But then, just sometimes you just got to think about the immaturity or the maturity level of the two, like who comes with more experience over what. So because of that, in that sense, it could be a weird way of seeing a grooming situation. I'm saying that Kylie is grooming Timothy, but just, he kind of has, we've seen how Timothy has pretty much transformed and grew up in front of us impressively, just being with Kylie. And that's exactly what I'm saying. Kylie could have, on the back end, in phrases that we can't see, has transformed, while he has transformed as a physical appearance, had a literal glow up. And because of that, we see that they are, something about them is fueling their relationship, but there's also something about their relationship that they have to keep out of the world and public's eye, because it just weighs down or maybe murks up the water of how they see each other, because it's so new for them. It's so something different. They are both experiencing things that they're not quite sure of, and they're just kind of taking it along for the ride. So the less voices and influences they have, the more they can enjoy it for what it is and where it goes and for however long it lasts. And then in the future, we have the daughter, or the Page of Swords. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to have a child in the future. Let's hope not. But the page, as in the sense of, like I said, about that maturity level. And because it's a swords card, actually, that is very fitting. I like how on Kylie's side, we had two mother cards. And then on Timothy's side, we had two sword cards. Like I said, going back to, let me try to hone in on some Timothy energy right here. So Timothy came off as the Eight of Swords. That is somebody who feels like they are trapped, but it's because they have trapped themselves. And once they take off the blindfold, or once they change their perspective and how they're viewing the situation or their relationship, do they start to see it a different way? Do they start to view it a different way? Maybe that's why they need to stop listening to everybody. Maybe that's why he literally blinded himself. So he was like, so if I can just blot out the world and not see you guys and hear you guys, and I'm just in my own little cocoon, my own little bubble, my own little love bubble, then nothing can go wrong. In that sense, it's looking through things maybe a little bit more rose-colored glasses. But like I said, at the same time, they're both just taking it for what it is. But I see here in the future, but also kind of reminding me a little bit of Timothy, is the Page of Swords. Somebody who isn't thinking, or somebody who is trying to think of this relationship wisely, but because they are still in the infancy stage, or that, not literal, but that infancy pubescent stage of not really knowing the game, and not really knowing the maybe what they're like all getting into. I mean, he's been with Kylie for long enough to know what he's getting into a little bit. But if he puts a ring on it and becomes like the legal parents, like co-parenter, just think about it. I just think about everything that Kylie comes with. He's got to think about that. And I don't think he's thought about that enough thoroughly through. However, I do see that they do have conversations, as I was saying, but their conversations seem to be a little bit more mundane and maybe not a little bit more deeper level. Because outside of the world card, there is not a single card here that is a major arcana card. So everything is pretty mundane, every day-to-day things. Pretty, as I would say, going with just like the phases, like it's just what you're going through. It's like a period, a season. So because of that, it's more temporary issues and less permanent issues. So therefore, whatever they're going through right now, if they ever choose to, the best way I could say, work through, maybe have a little bit more conversations than what they're having. But I am curious. I'm just going to pull some 4 cards just to see what surrounds them as a circle. Because with this 10 of Cups at the bottom, I definitely know that whatever this picture perfect happy relationship that they're trying to portray is not all squeaky clean as they would like it to believe, because I definitely see a lot of earth weighing down, and honestly you could say equals amount of equals amount of air. So that with the earth and then the air, you have at least some sort of sustainability, because earth is fruitful and air keeps you alive through literal breath, but also it's a good way of communicating, and through communicating you can build and create things from the ground up. So because of that, I see all that working with Kylie and Timothee. I definitely do see that they're trying to work on the relationship, but is the relationship going to sustain itself? I'm not quite sure. So with that being said, let me just, the 4 corner cards are going to be the outside influences. What Mama Crone wanted to know: are Kylie and Timothee going to get engaged? We see a water card. We see old. We see a snake. Interesting. Okay. And consistency. Ooh, I found another new card. I haven't seen this one. So, what we see here: a yes, a maybe, and a no. Up in the air, like I was saying before, the just to get like a straight off answer: is Kylie and Timothee going to get engaged? The first card that came out is a water card, which represents yes, there's emotions there. They have feelings for each other. They would like to get engaged. The emotions are in there to feel as moved and inspired, because they just feel, because the love and the energy just feels good. However, we see a maybe when we go to old. Is it that Kylie's a bit old in the sense of she's, I don't want to say weighed down by kids, but she has kids and he doesn't. She's established, he's just getting established. So they're on 2 different wavelengths and 2 different pages, and honestly 2 different books. So it's just like, is she like old and outdated for Timothee for where he needs to go? So there's a maybe there of, if I get married, is this the right thing to do? I don't know, maybe. Then we have a snake down here at the bottom, which says no. And a snake always symbolizes somebody who can be deceitful, but it also symbolizes, interestingly enough, fertility. Going back to that Kylie energy, and also symbolizes the Ouroboros. I like that. I don't use that one often. The Ouroboros is that that snake in a circle that eating its own tail. Yes, that's the Ouroboros, and that symbolizes the cycle of life and shedding and renewing yourself. It's kind of like shedding the old skin and coming into your new self. And as you shed the old self of you, you're like devouring that old self, and gets, when it gets in your stomach, it gets all digested, and then it comes out of you like waste. Basically, that's the sense and gist of renewing. yourself as a snake, which came out in the past here for their relationship with this Mother of Wands, where I said both of them, no matter how much ways I look at it, they both seemed like they had transformed within this relationship. So it's kind of hard to say that there isn't something there for them to, it's hard to say that there isn't a foundation there for them to get married, but just by the way things are looking, the circumstances, how their family, friends, loved ones feel about them, and how they're feeling about each other, and how they vibe with each other, because ultimately Kylie and Timothee ultimately know if they're going to get married, and it seems like right now it's a no, they're not going to get married. They just don't feel as, like, looking outside of everything else, it's just like, wow. Because right here I see consistency, and consistency is key for a sustainable relationship. But you also need a whole lot more than just being consistent in a relationship. So there's a bunch of things that like I said, that they maybe are not addressing, but there are some things that they maybe are not choosing to address because it fulfills certain other needs that maybe made them feel as though that they have transformed. So no, they're not going to get married. And what do I see in their dynamics? I definitely see that their dynamics, it's like a odd pairing that you wouldn't expect, but it's an odd pairing that was healing in a sense, or brought growth. I'll say that. It brought growth in a way. Kylie has grown in one aspect, and Timothee has grown in one aspect. And for that, that's what, I don't want to say keeps them bonded together, but whatever they are getting from each other, it's a give and take kind of energy. And like they say, if it's not broke, why fix it? So right now it's kind of on the good, it's on the up. I'm benefiting, you benefiting. We're not using each other. We both understand what is in stake. We both are maybe having conversations, and if we're not, being sneaky and deceptive like snakes, not being truthfully honest about how we feel for each other. Maybe one person may feel unfulfilled and unrequited. Maybe one person might feel that somebody's old or a little bit stuck in their ways. Because, old doesn't also have to be like old in age, but old can be in the sense of stuck in your ways. You keep doing that same old. While that's good in consistency, I want something different, something fresh. This isn't the, yeah, at first it was good. It was fresh. It was new. I enjoyed it. I loved it. But now it's getting old and stale and kind of been there, done that. This is so, that's the kind of energy that they're going. Maybe somebody doesn't want to be forthright, honest about how they're feeling. And that could be just Timothee and how Timothee feels. But I don't know. Because looking at these cards, weirdly enough, the Oracle cards match the energies of the tarot cards. Because on Kylie's side, even though this was the past energy, two mothers showed up on the side of Kylie. And then the snake that happened to connect to one of the mothers. Yeah, that sounds like it kind of fits Kylie over here. And then when I look over here, I see Timothee's cards. And even though this was in their future, but the fact that two swords came out on Timothee's side, and we see both an old and a consistency card, could be feeling that Timothee and swords is all about air and communication. I'm starting to feel like there's a communication problem here, and the only person that I could possibly say that right now would have to be Timothee, just based off the elements of the cards. So because of that, maybe Timothee isn't being quite honest and right with him. And that could be something that Kylie could be picking up, her motherly instincts, her intuition, speaking of that water. So that intuitive side of her could be feeling like, yeah, I don't want to jump too quick into this. Got to protect my family, got to protect my home, got to protect my legacy. Do I just want to just let anybody in kind of thing? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? So, she got her own thing that she got to think about, and he got his own thing to think about. Like I said, they're in two separate books. So why are they even on the same shelf? So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I sure did. Please leave your comments down below. Do you think Kylie Jenner and Timothee Chalamet are getting married? According to the cards, it sounds like a no. It could be up there. It's a possibility, but right now, no, not at all. Nada. No, zero zilch. No. Just no engagement. Not even on the table. Just no. And what is the dynamics for Timothy and Kylie's relationship? One person is very motherly or into her womanly energy, her feminine energy. And then we have somebody else who's that's all in their head, stuck in their head, thinking in their head, and their head got them all twirling like a tornado. And they just don't know what's going on. And they're just trying to make sense of the reality. But if they just step outside of themselves and look at it from a different perspective, they will be able to see clearly now. The clouds are gone. Okay. So, for that being said, I hope that advice reads to Timothy, Kylie, and anybody that could relate to that and could be in a situation like that. And with this Ace of Pentacles as their problem, looking off of the World card and this Ten of Cups, what they try to present to the world is not exactly how it is in reality. They wish it was. They know it's there. It was there at the beginning, but right now it's not. It's kind of shrouded, weighed down, kind of heavy, got all clouded because everybody's voices and opinions got in there. So now it's trying to find their way back to what they were first connected to in the very beginning. So that's going to take some time to dig through all those layers, especially when your mind has been opened up to different perspectives. And maybe that's why Timothy could be just completely shut off completely. Because he's just probably like, you know what? Too much information. I'm just shutting down. I'm just going to do me. I don't want to say F it, but YOLO. It is what it is. You only live once. And maybe that's Timothy's attitude at this time. And maybe Kylie sees that in him and could be like, oh, that's a little bit immature. I'm not sure I'm going to get too attached to that because what happens if I get hurt in the end? So all that. So with that being said, leave your comments down below. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. It would really mean a lot to the channel. We would really appreciate it. Please and thank you. Become a sunflower and spread your seeds of love, positivity, and light. Be a starlight, yes, but be a sunflower star seed. There we go. And with that being said, please give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. If you enjoyed this content, share this with anybody that's into Kylie Jenner, Timothee Chalamet, the Jenners, the Kardashians, into the Chalamets, or into news and into tarot. With that being said, I'll see you sunflowers in the next one. Sunflowers.